Our second finalist is Judy Hefren from the College of Social Work. Her major professor is Dr. Neil Abel. Judy's presentation title is An Examination of the Significance Parents Place on Belongings Following the Death of a Child as a Predictor of Complicated Grief.
As you can imagine, in December 2007, my world turned upside down with the death of my only child. But I'm a CPA by training and an auditor by nature, and I was determined there had to be a way through this process. Within a few months following his death, I gave away a lot of his belongings, primarily because I was determined to face this head on and to get done. I was naive not to know that following a great grief, no one is ever done. But it got me thinking about belongings. I looked in the research literature and could only find one study relative to belongings, and that was in response to spousal bereavement. So I wanted to look at children's belongings with the thought that perhaps the way a parent views their child's belongings represents that dash of their child's life. So I wanted to fit a child's belongings into a theory relative to grief. The dual process model of grief speaks to two different aspects of the process. One of them has to do with what they call loss orientation, which is about missing the person themselves, and often includes a pining or a longing for that child. That's where I believe the belongings fits in. The other is what they call restoration orientation, and that is all about trying to move forward in establishing a new sense of normalcy. The theory says that the idea is that during the bereavement process, you oscillate or move back and forth between these two focuses. The complicated grief is any kind of grief which becomes problematic. And the dual process model says that oscillation is related to complicated grief. So I created an online survey and collected over 200 responses from bereaved parents. When I put the model together with oscillation in it, it in fact explained 44% of the variance of complicated grief above other known risk factors, such as the time since the death. But I was interested in belonging, so I took that oscillation and broke it down into its two pieces. I put in a measure of restoration orientation, but instead of loss orientation, I put in a measure of significance of belongings. And in fact, it did support my hypothesis, as 38% of the variance was explained above and beyond those same known risk factors. So what does this mean? My hope is that it'll be helpful to people in the helping professions, that perhaps a conversation about belongings would be insightful and provide an early indication of the risk of the grief becoming problematic. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And